Hi everyone, this is Jyotsnaita, lecturer in English, Government Degree College for Women, Jagitya. Okay, so in yesterday's class we have discussed about transformation of sentences and the types. So first, transformation of sentences. Transforming means changing the sentences from one form to another form. Okay, so we have discussed that, and majorly we have four kinds of sentences: simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, and compound complex sentences. Okay, so these are the types of transformation of sentences. But in yesterday's class we have discussed about simple sentences. Okay, so a simple sentence consists one independent class or one main class, okay, which express itself without any support. Okay, so that is about all simple sentences. And now in today's class we are going to learn about complex sentences. Okay, of course in yesterday's class we have discussed about compound also. So in compound we have two independent statements. Okay, but we adjoin or we combine the two independent statements by using a connector there. So connectors are conjunctions. Okay, conjunctions are the connecting words which we have used there. Okay, so those are the two types: simple sentences and compound sentences we have learned there. And in today's, okay, we are going to learn about the third type, complex sentences. Okay, so let's move to complex sentences. Of course, Nana. So before of this topic only, I'm just reminding again that yesterday I've told you that we have main class and subordinate class. That means dependent sentence and independent sentence. Okay, of course, independent sentence means the main class. It doesn't need any support. It consists of its own meaning. Okay, so that's why it called as an independent statement or a main class. Okay, but whereas we comes to subordinate, the subordinate class, it always correlated or depends upon the main class, on the main sentence. So that's why it is called as the subordinate class or independent sentence. Dependent, that means it depends upon the independent one. It depends upon the main sentence. Okay, so observe these two sentences. Just keep these two classes in your mind. Okay, main class, subordinate class, independent sentence and dependent sentence. Okay, so just keep it in mind. Okay, and now we are moving to complex sentences. So first, complex sentence. So in complex sentence, it consists one main class or a independent class. Okay, one main class or independent class along with a subordinate class or a dependent class. Okay, so with the combination of, okay, it consists or it contains the combination of a main class and a subordinate class. That means one independent sentence and one dependent sentence. Okay, so it contains two sentences. A complex sentence contains two sentences, and these two sentences were, one is independent and one is dependent, and we combine these two sentences by using a connector. Okay, so no need to use comma, of course, but most of the people, they use comma while they are writing or while they are expressing these complex sentences. They use commas, but no need to use commas here because we are using the conjunctions there. Okay, so before, no need to use the comma before and not. Okay, before of the sentence, that means after the conjunction. Okay, so and moreover we should mind one thing is always these connectors or conjunctions comes before the dependent sentence. That means before the subordinate sentence or subordinate clause. Okay, so these connectors comes or these conjunctions comes before the dependent or before the subordinate clauses. Okay, not between the two sentences. Okay, so whenever we got the subordinate, before of the subordinate we use connectors, or before of the subordinate we use conjunctions. Mind that. Okay, and the dependent clause comes before the main clause. Okay, so dependent means it should be the reason or the result. Okay, so an independent is a situation. So the sequence or the result or the consequence will comes before than the situation. Okay, so dependent comes first, then independent. Subordinate clause comes first, then main clause. Okay, this is all about complex sentence. So in complex sentences, it consists two sentences. One is a main clause and the second one is a subordinate clause or a dependent clause. Okay, and we use these two by connecting a connector, by using a conjunction. And always these conjunction or connector comes before the dependent sentence or before the subordinate clause. Okay, and in these two sentences also, dependent comes first and independent later. Okay, so this is all about complex sentence. Let's observe some of the examples. Okay, and here another point, the two sentences can show more specific relationship between the parts of sentences, of course. As just now I've told you, one is a situation and one could be the reason. So the reason and situation, they shows the relationship between each other. So here also the two sentences, the main clause and subordinate clause, they show the relationship between the two parts of the sentences. Okay, so they are related, not like compound. In compound they are not related, they are different. Okay, they are just different sentences, two various sentences. But here, whereas becomes too complex, the two sentences, they correlated with each other, they consist of relationship with each other. Okay, one shows the relation of another one. Okay, so just by observing the examples we can get an idea. For example, the goat has extended lockdown due to the effect of corona. Of course, the goat extended the lockdown. Why? What is the reason? Due to the corona effect. Okay, so due to the effect of corona. Of course. So here goat has extended lockdown. It's a main clause. It's an independent clause. And why? The reason is the subordinate clause here. Due to corona. So due to is a connector we are using here. So due to the effect of corona, the goat has extended lockdown. Of course, we can write this also. Okay, we can write in this manner also. Due to the effect of corona, the goat has extended lockdown. Okay, so we can change the order. Okay, and next example. Although it's lockdown, many people were roaming on the roads. Of course, although it's lockdown, many people were roaming on the roads is an independent statement. It's a main clause. And even though or although it is lockdown is the subordinate clause. And we are using although, a connector before of the subordinate, before of the dependent sentence. Then we made a sentence. Although it's lockdown, many people were roaming on the roads. So one is a situation and one is a result or cause. Okay, so the two sentences, they consist of relationship. Okay, if you observe these two examples, the two sentences, they consist a relationship with each other. Okay, so next move to the next slide. So as we discussed, in complex sentence it has an independent clause and a dependent clause. Okay, and the subordinating conjunction, just only I've explained you that the dependent sentence or the subordinate sentence begins with a conjunction. For example, the conjunction, subordinating conjunctions examples are after, although, because, before, even though, however, if, since, so that, unless, when, while, whenever, etc. Okay, so these are the examples for subordinate conjunctions which we have to use in complex sentences. Okay, and here are some examples of sentences also. For example, I washed the car after I came home. So here, I washed the car. It's an independent statement. It's a main clause. After I came home. So I came home is a dependent sentence. So we used after before of the statement. Then it becomes as a one clause, one complex sentence. Okay, and he went to see a doctor because he was sick. Okay, for example, he was sick అని చెప్పామనుకో, then somebody will initiate or somebody will suggest go for the doctor. Or if we say he went to see a doctor, why? What is the reason? Because he was sick. So the two sentences, they show the relationship with each other here. Okay, so whenever we sick, then only we consult the doctor or we went to the doctor. Okay, and next, the third example. Even though she was late, she managed to complete the assignment. Of course, even though she was late, okay, she managed to complete the assignment. Okay, so even though she was late is a subordinate sentence here, is a subordinate clause here, dependent clause here, but we use it or we combine it with the main clause. She managed to complete the assignments. Okay, so these are few examples for complex sentences. Okay, let's have some more examples. So, due to the effect of corona, everybody is washing hands regularly. Of course. Also, this is a contemporary issue. So everybody is washing hands regularly. Why? Why they are washing regularly? Due to the effect of corona. So, with the effect of that virus, everybody is washing their hands regularly. So here, due to the effect of corona is a subordinate clause. And everybody is washing hands regularly is a main clause. Okay, and due to is a connector there, conjunction there. Okay, and next, even though they are late, okay, or they were late, they allude to the party. So they allude to the party is an independent, and even though they are late is a subordinate or a dependent clause, and even though is the conjunction here, the connector here. Okay, and next, in spite of Raju's laziness, he lost all his property. So here in the place of in spite we use because also. Okay, because are due to also. Okay, so because of Raju's laziness. Okay, so it's a dependent clause. He lost all his property. It's a independent or main clause. So observe these three examples, Nana. So one is showing the situation and another one is maybe the reason or the result. Okay, so in complex situations, whenever we use the dependent one, a question will raise there. why, what, when, how, what. Okay, so the second one will fulfill that, will complete that. So the two sentences, they correlate with each other. Okay, so this is complex sentences and some more examples. He succeeded because he studied hard. Of course, the main class and the subordinate. He succeeded is the main class because why he succeeded and how he succeeded, because he studied hard. It's a subordinate class. Next, I remembered her sister when I saw her. I remembered her sister, the main class, when I saw her, as a subordinate class. Although he tried very hard, although he tried very hard, he did not finish in time. So he did not finish in time is the main class. Although he tried very hard, is subordinate class here. Okay, and next, while Sarah borrowed a science book, her sister took a history book. So while Sarah borrowed a science book, her sister took a history book. Okay, so her sister took a history book is the main class, while Sarah borrowed a science book is the dependent class. So while is showing the timing. Okay, so here while is showing the timing. So while one action is going on, someone is doing something. So here we are mentioning the two actions by referring the time. Okay, and next, before he left for school, Samir put all his books in his bag. Of course, so Samir put all his books in his bag. It's a main class. Before he left for school is a subordinate sentence. Okay, so if you observe these examples, you can get an idea. Okay, so one is a sentence and one is a reason. Situation and a reason, or situation and a result can consist in a complex sentences. And here we divided the sentence into two parts. For example, independent part and dependent part. Observe here. Of course, it's all a sentence. Okay, so the first example, we were sailing on the lake when the thunderstorm hit. So here, we were sailing on the lake is an independent statement. And besides that, when the thunderstorm hit. So by using when, okay, when, the place of timing, the timing and place can mention there. So the timing here, when the thunderstorm hit. So the combination of two sentences. And next, we didn't know that the paint was wet. Okay, so that the paint was wet is the dependent statement, and we don't know is an independent statement. But when we combine these two, okay, by using that, it becomes as a complex one. And next, this is the place where I dropped my pen. Okay, so this is the place, independent, and where is a place referring conjunction, the conjunction which can refer the place. I dropped my pen. Okay, so the situation. So we can combine these two to become a complex sentence. So one is an independent and the next one is a dependent sentence. Okay, so just here they have divided the two parts, independent and dependent. Okay, and next we'll move for the next examples. So Mr. Farrell, who is our English teacher, always gives great lessons. Okay, so Mr. Farrell, who is our English teacher, is the main class, always gives great lessons. Of course, so here is our English teacher will mention with who. We are mentioning the person Mr. Farrell with who. Okay, And next, Liverpool, which is where I live, is an amazing city. So it's an amazing city. Liverpool is an amazing city. It's a independent statement. Which is where I live is a dependent. So here, by using which, we are showing the place. And the first one, who is referring the person? Okay, the person and the character. And here in that second one, which is showing the place, Liverpool. Okay. And the third example, the red Porsche, which is my brother's favorite, is really fast. Of course. Okay. So here, which is showing the Porsche. Okay. So which is showing the red Porsche. Okay. So two sentences here. So the combination of two sentences. And next, here are some conjunctions. Okay, subordinating conjunctions, when we use and how to use. For example, to show the reason or cause, we use because, since, as. Okay, we use these three conjunctions for to show the reason or cause, due to also, due to, in spite of, okay, etc. And next, to show the contrast. To show contrast, we use although, though, even though, while. Okay. And next, to show time relationship, as just now I've told you, after, before, until, while, as. And next, to show condition, if, even if. And to show the places, where, when, timings, we use when. And for persons, we use who. Okay, for different items or articles, we use which. Okay, so these are some conjunctions which we can use. Okay, and here are some examples also. Although my friends begged me, I chose not to go to the reunion. Okay, so although, by using although, we made it this sentence. And I learned English perfectly because I studied very hard. Okay, so because is a conjunction here we used to show the reason. Okay, and next, many people enjoyed the movie. However, Alex did not. So, however, because it's his experience, his feeling. Okay, we use however. And next, although. And in next example, if the ozone layer collapses, the global community will suffer. So we use if. Okay, if, in case and not if we used. And these are some more examples. Although not very good, I really enjoy playing football. And I would like to see the North Pole, but I'll never go where it is the cold. Because he did not know the route well, he drove slowly. Walking through the wood, he saw a fox that was following him. When Uncle Samuel comes to town, we all have a good time. So these are all some examples for complex sentences. Okay, the combination of two sentences. Of course, Nana, so complex sentences is nothing but the combination of two sentences. One is a main class and one is a subordinate class. Or one is a dependent class and one is an independent class. Okay, so with the combination of these two opposite, dependent, independent, main, sub. Okay, with the contrast words too. So with the combination of these two, we make complex sentences. And always the connector comes before the subordinate sentences. Okay, so before the subordinate sentences, we use connectors or we use conjunctions. Okay, and according to the timings, we use this conjunction. For example, to show the reasons or results, we use because, due to, in spite of, as, okay, etc. And for timings, we use when, while, etc. For the persons we use who, whose, etc. Okay, and for places we use which, where, etc. Okay, and for different kinds of causes we use though, even though. Okay, the contrast, for contrast we use though, even though, although, etc. So these are different kinds of conjunctions we use to refer the complex sentences, and always the conjunctions comes before the subordinate sentences or the dependent sentences. We should mind that. Okay, and transforming from one form to another form. For example, we have a sentence: she is a teacher, her brother is a journalist. Okay, she is a teacher and her brother is a journalist. It's a compound. Okay, but whenever we comes to complex, okay, even though her brother is a journalist, she was a teacher. Or, of course, she is a teacher, but her brother is a journalist. Okay, so people are roaming on the roads and people are suffering with corona, or from corona we can mention. So due to the effect of corona, okay, due to the effect of corona, just God has extended lockdown and people are roaming on the roads. Okay, so మనం ఒక compound sentence complex, and let's see one compound, one complex. For example, the goat has extended lockdown due to the effect of corona. It is complex, but whenever we comes to compound, corona affected the world, the goat has extended the lockdown. Okay, so we divide the two, we can divide the two statements, we can divide the two sentences as independent, not one dependent and not one independent in compound. Okay, so the compound sentences can transform to complex, and the complex sentences can transform to compound, and the simple sentences can transform to complex, and the complex sentences can transform to simple. Okay, so we can transform from simple to compound, compound to complex, or complex to compound, compound to simple. Okay, so it depends upon the sentence types. Okay, Nana, so good. This is all about complex sentences. So complex is nothing but one dependent, one independent with a connector, one main class, one subordinate class with a connector. That's it. Okay, so I hope you got a little idea about complex sentences, and we'll meet you in the next class with compound complex sentences, and along with the transformation of these four types. Okay, can get the examples, different and various examples from simple to compound, compound to complex, complex to compound complex in later class. Okay, we'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.